Workers at his 20-plus restaurant locations are reporting horrific conditions, but one lawsuit alleges $230,000 in stolen tips. His restaurants seem to be making money, but workers are suspicious of the poor conditions. Is this going to be the end of Nusret Steakhouses?
Salt Bae, aka Nusret Gökçe, is nowhere to be found right now. You don't see any celebrities with him or any videos he posts on the internet. And the reason is his former waiters, staff, and many outlets are now suing him for his previous scams, which are costing him huge amounts of money. His businesses are not earning him money. Instead, they are eating up all his money. And whenever he comes into any controversy, people are now filing lawsuits against him for his previous scams. The man who once flexed like he built a billionaire empire,
a lot of locations, $1 billion valuation,
is now losing it all. Reports in 2025 show his restaurants are taking heavy losses, with revenue dropping nearly 30%. And it's not just business failure. Lawsuits are piling up, payouts for stealing from employees, and courts are draining every bit of money from him.
Workers at his 20-plus restaurant locations are reporting horrific conditions, but one lawsuit alleges $230,000 in stolen tips.
Online, people are roasting him non-stop. Salt Bae went from being a global meme chef to being criticized all over the internet. Right now, Salt Bae is not only ruined financially, but his luxury chef image is gone forever. No more gold steaks, no more fake billionaire lifestyle. His career as the flashy internet chef pretty much finished.
Today I saw the decline of Salt Bae.
So what's really happening to Salt Bae? And how did his empire collapse this badly? Let's break it all down. Stay with me till the end. So guys, as you already know, most of Salt Bae's employees have filed lawsuits against him. The allegations are serious. They're saying Salt Bae stole a huge amount of money from his own workers. And now lawyers are confirming that he's facing massive backlash from the courts over all of this. You can even see in this clip where a lawyer talks about his situation.
Golden tomahawks, $300 burgers, and $1,100 steaks. Don't forget a pinch of salt. These are the prices at Salt Bae's world-famous restaurants, Nusret. But behind all the gold and the glitz and glam, there's a dark story here. Workers at his 20-plus restaurant locations are reporting horrific conditions, but one lawsuit alleges $230,000 in stolen tips. Salt Bae was forced to pay compensation in the lawsuit, but meanwhile, workers say that a culture of fear perpetuates these restaurants.
So now just imagine how much money Salt Bae is being forced to pay out because of these lawsuits. And it doesn't even stop there. More and more reports are coming out about how darkly he treated his employees. Some news says many of his workers have already separated from the job, and they don't even want to come back. Why? Because when people hear the old employees' stories about how badly Salt Bae treated them, even how he stole tips from his own staff, it becomes clear. Who would ever want to be part of his team after that?
Where workers are routinely fired for asking questions about their pay or inquiring about tips. Remember that in the United States, tips earned by employees are their property, and managers with hiring and firing power cannot take those tips, they can't be in a tip pool, and they can't take your tips as punishment. As for Salt Bae, his restaurants seem to be making money, but workers are suspicious of the poor conditions. Is this going to be the end of Nusret Steakhouses?
Salt Bae didn't just ruin his reputation online. He burned his chances of keeping loyal employees. And that's one of the biggest reasons his empire is collapsing right in front of us. And guys, as you've heard, Salt Bae's legal condition is not looking good right now. But that's not the only problem. If you remember, almost all of his restaurants in the USA have already shut down. So when you connect the dots, it's clear. This isn't just about a drop in revenue or profit. Salt Bae is being forced to shut down because of these lawsuits, and the insane amount of money he's paying out to the courts. The real question is, how can he even survive all of this? You might be shocked, but Salt Bae was once an inspiration. A guy who couldn't even speak English properly, yet he built a massive network of Nusret restaurants all over the world. People even said his empire was valued at $1.5 billion at one point.
We went to Nusret last time, and you guys shit on him.
So listen.
No, but that's just what it is. I'll say it. I said it. You didn't say it.
Listen, hands off to that guy. That guy has, a lot of locations, $1 billion valuation. He is, for a guy that can't even talk.
Yeah, just sprinkling.
I mean,
just sprinkling the whole time.
It's amazing what this guy has accomplished. You can't take anything away from him. He's created a whole brand,
of course,
and restaurant chain.
But now, just imagine, that so-called billionaire empire has been completely exposed. The truth is, he didn't build it with respect. He rigged people with overpriced food and shady practices. Remember when Andrew Tate once humiliated Salt Bae for those ridiculous high-priced restaurant bills?
The coolest thing about being rich is remember when I was broke. That's all it is. Having money in and of itself really isn't that interesting.
No, it's not.
You buy the house, you buy the car, you buy the watches, you buy some clothes, blah, blah. It's boring. It's only cool to sit there with my brother in the Nusret restaurant with Salt Bae being an idiot, spending 15 G's and saying, do you remember when we didn't have a penny? 15 grand for dinner? We never had 15 grand in our savings account in our life.
That moment already showed the cracks, and today, Salt Bae is no longer seen as a luxury chef. He's just a meme. On podcasts, people literally laugh when they talk about his downfall. His empire totally declined. His image destroyed.
Today I saw the decline of Salt Bae. You know that butcher guy
The
that used to
Turkish
go
guy.
like this with the salt?
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage.
His empire crumbled. This guy.
Well, yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's
He
rude.
came and went, and he opened these steakhouses around the world. He opened up a steakhouse in Venezuela, fucking $300 steaks that people can't eat. It's like, what are you
how
on?
stupid that is.
Yeah, like, come on.
Losing a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, his
He
restaurants
got
are
in
closing.
trouble.
And guys, another secret got revealed. Something that makes Salt Bae look even worse. It turns out he was taking money from customers even when he wasn't there to do his famous little salt ritual. Instead, he used lookalikes to pretend to be him.
And I think people would pay $500 just to see him go in and do the.
Yeah. No, and he had lookalikes. In restaurants, he had lookalikes. People thought it was him, and it wasn't him. It was lookalikes.
That's straight up fraud with his own customers. People thought they were paying thousands just to see Salt Bae sprinkle salt in person, but in reality they were being tricked. Imagine paying that much money and realizing you didn't even get the real guy, just a fake copy. This just shows how deep the scam went inside his empire. So now, after all of this, Salt Bae is trying to fully move out of Europe and America and shift into Latin America or the Middle East. But even there, it's not safe for him. There are already a lot of threats and challenges waiting, which I'll explain later. What's ruining Salt Bae even more right now is the non-stop exposure against him. People are digging into his past, bringing up every good and bad story, and blasting it all over the internet. Even TV reports are running everywhere about him, and it's leaving Salt Bae completely crumbling under the spotlight.
Nusret Gökçe, aka Instagram celeb Salt Bae, has his own restaurant chain, and apparently, according to those who've been, they're pretty trash. Gökçe has figured out a way to turn his suave meat cutting into over 10 million followers, but he hasn't figured out a way to make his food as good as his seasoning techniques. According to Time, the reviews are scathing, with food critics from across the city deeming it bland, boring, and way too expensive. Eater called the steaks rubbery, food critic Robert Siestima said he left hungry despite dropping $300 for two, and Steve Cuozzo of the New York Post called the whole restaurant a ripoff, describing one of the steaks as shoe leather tough bone-in ribeye, which for extra fun was loaded with gruesome globs of fat.
So now, as you can see, it's not just one group. Food critics, food reviewers, and even regular customers are all angry at Salt Bae. From the insane high prices to the bad food quality, and even the dark conspiracies of how he rigged money from people, the hate is coming from everywhere. But here's the thing, guys. Even worse news is waiting for Salt Bae. Why? Because his new location plans in Mexico, Spain, and Saudi Arabia are already under big threat. And let me give you a short breakdown of why these expansions might completely fail. A flashy restaurant opens, landlords raise rent, and local businesses get priced out. Just like what happened in London and New York. And there's serious risk. Food safety laws in these regions can be strict but loosely enforced. One scandal, a hygiene violation, contaminated dish, or gold leaf mishandling, and the brand could collapse overnight. Add in growing tax crackdowns. If he funnels money out without reinvesting locally, one audit or whistleblower could freeze assets or shut him down. Culturally, his brand doesn't fit. These aren't clout-driven markets. People want warmth, not ego. When the hype dies, there's nothing left but an overpriced, empty restaurant. And if these locations fail again, it won't just be Salt Bae losing money. It'll damage investor trust, waste prime real estate, and crush opportunities for real chefs. Because everywhere he goes, Salt Bae brings the same formula: fake luxury, high prices, cultural disrespect, and eventual collapse. So after watching this whole video, what do you think, guys? Do you believe Salt Bae is on the way to being completely broke, maybe even homeless? Or do you think all of this is just smoke and mirrors and he'll somehow bounce back? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below.